Well, the bright lights of RAC Arena in full blast as the West Coast Fever and the Sunshine Coast Lightning make their way out onto court for the minor semi-final. And the loser today, we say farewell, but to the winner, a chance to go on and keep their dreams of 2024 alive. Here's your Woolworths team cards for the Fever. Katie-Ann Dehaney has had a couple of good games leading into this and will need to do so. Cara Conan, her direct opponent today. And the Lightning, well, they won a premiership here in 2018. They haven't played finals, Stacey Francis-Bayman, since 2021. But everyone seems to think that their form has hit at the right time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think there's a feeling in camp and also it's trickled out into the community that Lightning are ready to fire at just the right time. I can't wait to see what they're going to start the game with today.
11 wins for the West Coast Fever and 6 for the Lightning. That will mean nothing as the centre pass whistle goes and the action gets underway. The crowd in, and hasn't the crowds been absolutely sublime this season for Suncorp Super Netball. Lightning heading to the left.
Oh, incredibly strong defensive statement from West Coast at the start there. Brilliant man-to-man work from Sunday Ariang.
So the West Coast Fever catch the nerves of the Lightning, and now the Lightning catch the nerves of the Fever. And you can expect that over the first couple of minutes of this game. Contact at the top, Ariang in a wing defence on Mai, playing in her first final. And the lady of the hour that we have just spoken about, Steph Fretwell, desperate to get a premiership, another one under her belt before her career finishes.
Early in the game, but Fever will absolutely have been wanting to make the most out of that moment. Lightning have only given away 67 intercepts, and whilst that was a 3-second opportunity for Fever, they weren't able to capitalise or even get it out of their goal third.
So an early score for both sides. Maybe settle any of the heebie-jeebies. Instruction again. Lizzie Watson played no shortage of finals with her former club, the Melbourne Vixens. Would have watched on yesterday. And probably had a small moment where she felt for them. Would have got her eyes straight back on the prize here today. Anstis, the captain in at centre. Beckford joining the West Coast Fever for the first time this year and playing in her first final alongside one of her best mates in Fowler Nemard. Drive from the back, Cassidy.
It was, and let's keep our eye on Cara Conan there. She was, and a contact there by Dehaney, but eyes only for the ball, ready to contest.
Okay, so the umpire just clearly indicating where the penalty needed to be taken from, and Steph Fretwell has dropped in a couple of big ones.
Oh, I think she might have been unlucky at that. To me, it looked like Dehaney had that front ball, but it was a great contest and an incredible shot to finish off from Fretwell.
Plenty of Harvey Norman replays coming your way in today's game, no doubt. Finals time, Beckford. Looked like it was going in, bounces out, and the big offensive rebound for Fowler Nemard. Second phase. Number 2 in the league for it, Cara Conan, and then a footwork call.
Oh, uncharacteristic, those coach killers that are out there, the controllables. Fever now almost getting a really early opportunity to see what they can do with a game possession.
Potentially hard to come by for the Thunderbirds yesterday, though. Lovely high release into perfect space from Beckford. And the first little shifting score here for the Fever. Chance to double it. Back to the line. So they'll reset the play. Both out, Beckford and Teague Neal.
Beautiful sight of the circle for me there, though. Sorry, Gordy. There was that mismatch. Courtney Bruce was out hunting. Sighted the defenders, swish, swap, and put the ball in.
Oh, I just think you've got two unbelievable feeders in Watson and Teague Neal today.
Yeah, beautiful replay of that moment there. The really quick hands of Alice Teague Neal on the Harvey Norman replay.
Yes. Yes. The side defender.
So Steph Fretwell All eyes on her at the moment. She's shot the 4 for the Lightning. Conan yet to get a shot up. It certainly is the go-to girl. Beckford, defence again, but the confidence to go in.
Contact goalkeeper.
And contact the call on Courtney Bruce. So 6-4 the scoreline, blistering in the first 5 minutes, Stace.
You are right, and I think that confidence is really key early. To hark back to yesterday's game, I think there was an awful lot of respect shown to the goalkeeper and not even testing her out, which then gave Thunderbirds that confidence to just send the ball in.
That's a little more like the Lightning with their shooter-to-shooter work. Best in the league for it. Conan gets her first of this minor semi-final. There's your time per goal. Seconds the difference, but still very fast for both.
Great long vision there by Dehaney, really clearing the mess as Fever are taking their time to work that centre pass through to goal.
So the attack ticking along nicely for both sides. Just that one gain moment that converted for the Fever. Conan, the middle, quick hands from Fretwell and Watson. Oh, cleverly, patiently waited, used all of her time. And I just think that's one of the best things about this shooting connection for the Lightning is how well they know each other and what they're capable of creating for each other.
You're brilliant tip there by Watson, but you're absolutely right. I think that combination connection takes time to build, and these two have that now to practice at a domestic level, but they've got years of international experience that they bring into this final.
Yeah, Lisa Maimai right in the contest. Contact the call, though. Riding on Anstis's shoulder. And again, Alice Teague-Neal purring along, goal assists at the moment, all with her. Great cut to the circle edge from Maimai. Her teammates say that she's got crazy speed. Well, I think we just saw a bit of it. Rock back for Fretwell. Doesn't land. And Dehaney, well, tippy-toes the rebound and finds a teammate in Ariang. So 2 big rebounds to the Fever so far.
No questions about what Dehaney wants to happen with this rebound. Stronger, not vocal on the line to her team.
Well, let's not forget Dehaney was with the Lightning the last couple of years. Moved across to the Fever. She'll know these players back to front, as would Courtney Bruce.
Goalkeeper contact. One step in goalkeeper. Shooter beside the keeper.
Bruce getting caught on the back of Janelle Fowler there, which is a real catch-22. You want to sit behind her sometimes to try and force her further away from the circle, make that shot a little bit more difficult.
Off the back for Hinchliffe in a goal defence. Great to have, I'm sure, her first season back under her belt. Contact call on Anstis.
Anstis hoping she could pick the pocket in that moment.
So halfway through semi-final here. Say one of the toughest games to play, the knockout ones, this and the prelim. Late Thunderbirds will be sitting back sipping on pina coladas, surely.
After that victory yesterday, confidence would be sky high.
Belinda Reynolds already happy to throw some bibs around. We've seen Ash Irvin enter the court in place of Courtney Bruce. Courtney now has the goal defence bib on, so wanting to add a little bit more height and try and stifle the dominance of Fowler Nevards.
And a smart decision to potentially start doing that early, Caitlin. Don't let the opposition settle. Also, don't let that score blow out too much. They know that Fever are able to lead from the front.
Outside arm from Dehaney, but a contact call from the umpire. So Cara Conan. So far, 3 straight, and that'll be number 4. So a new defensive end now to look at for the Lightning. Does it shift the way the Fever approach? Well, it does, absolutely. And Shanice Beckford screaming at Alice Teague-Neal to say that she was open and vacant.
Yeah, that was a brain fade moment. The defenders of Lightning had done a fantastic job of dropping on the 2-on-1, making sure that Fowler Nemard was not an option, but Teague-Neal tried it out anyway.
Yeah, but great coaching call by Reynolds, right? Impact immediately. It's exactly what you want.
Absolutely, specifically based off of last week's defensive form where they really made very little defensive impact. So Bruce, been working for the last 6 to 8 weeks to
Get herself back to a 60-minute player. Much needed today for the Lightning. Watson, the quick give and go, finds Fretwell open. Oh, that's just absolute confidence, isn't it? To go over a towering Katie Ann Dehaney, 192 centimetres worth, and finds Conan.
Yeah, beautiful work on that shooter-to-shooter, and now Lightning back in possession on their centre pass. Certainly an area that Fever need to keep their eye on defensively throughout this game. Just some extra stats, just because there, I reckon.
So there's one back for the Lightning. Again to goal, won the difference, 30 seconds before we hit the power 5. Good collection of the ball from Beckford through the middle, out to Anstis.
Yeah, and I think that's an area that Fever can absolutely expose. Beckford is shorter and she has great speed, and the goal defences of Lightning are much taller. Sometimes harder to keep your eye on that player.
Well, that's a big contest in the air. It'll be a contact on Dehaney as she scrapped for the ball. Lizzie Watson was trying to call Conan forward. At the end, they find their way to post. That's all that matters. As the power 5 siren goes, Harvey Norman replay.
Yes, awesome footage there as we see them both go up for that contest. Great confidence from Watson to try and send that ball in again over Dehaney, but quick adjustments from her defensively.
So strong option for the Fever is Fowler Nemmard, 13 already to her name. Coaching staff for the West Coast Fever, Dan Ryan, Sarah Francis Bayman.
So we see those goal shooter stats for Fowler Nemmard on the screen there, 100% from everywhere and anywhere in the circle right now.
My, sitting out, Fretwell, that's the girl they'll look for instead. Conan will take the single. So the tactics of both sides inside this power 5 will be intriguing to watch as this game unfolds, Stace.
Yeah, absolutely, and Lightning have got an incredibly tall circle in there. So great front position by Irvin there, able to pick up that feed. Lightning quick onto the attack.
Irvin, fourth in the league for intercepts, third for deflections. So rewarding Belinda Reynolds since coming onto the court. Too much on that for Bruce, frustrating for the Lightning. Contact, the call on Watson.
Yeah, Watson really setting a high defensive intent for me very early on in this game, straight into those moments of transition. As we see here, that feed from distance, not making it over Ash Irvin. Beautiful front position.
Strong cut and drive from Fretwell. Rocks back, very good at this. Doesn't land though. Confidence to go early. And there's the lady that wasn't around last week in round 14, Riley Batcheldor. And getting ready to go in her first final. Second year with the Sunny Coast Lightning. The ACL, though, sent her into recovery mode for season 23. She just steps onto the court in the back of play. Conan now at the bench.
Absolutely, and we know that she can shoot from distance. She's at 55.8 in the 2-point for the season. Incredibly high with some limited opportunities.
So good defensive pressure here. You just see the box set up and having to force Fever out wide. And then brilliantly read by My as Fowler Nemmard came up the middle. So that's a big defensive win and a boost of confidence for the Lightning's defence.
Absolutely, fantastic defensive structure there. Fever falling into that trap of staying wide. My adding an interception off Janelle Fowler Nemmard to her highlights reel.
So there you go, they get it back, the Lightning, off this moment right here. My just runs across in an almost gimme intercept. I'd say it was a lot harder than that. Scores a level. 2 intercepts to 0 as far as the Lightning are concerned. Fretwell, here a moment ago, step back a moment ago. The result the same though, doesn't land.
Yeah, hard luck early from Fretwell in that 2-point zone. She won't be deterred by that though. Lightning need her to keep taking on those scores. Oh, and smart work there by Fretwell, ensuring that the umpire sees the bit of biff happening in the circle.
So the offensive contact on Fran Williams sets up Batcheldor to do not that, unfortunately for her, which doesn't give the best of confidence on your first long shot. West Coast Fever, though, monstering on the rebounds. 3-zip. Ariang. Plenty of time here, minute 10, 15, sorry, to play out.
Much better vision there on the feed from Alice Teague-Neal, but Fallon Nemmard absolutely wanting to go for a 2.
Another offensive rebound. It's a day of rebounds in this opening quarter. So the last minute of this first 15, final semi-final day here in Perth. Enjoying all the live coverage right here on Fox Sports. Williams, vision straight down court to Beckford, finds Teague-Neal behind the play. Oh, Irvin, courage.
Beautiful vision, and the ball in the air for just a little bit too long, I think, from Teague-Neal, but great intent from Irvin, showing Fever that she's going to come out and contest ball outside the circle too.
Plenty of time to score, 20 seconds. It'll put the ball back in the hand of the West Coast Fever, and the first Suncorp super shot of the final drops to Steph Fretwell, tying the scoreline. Oh, Cassidy! Oh, that is just up. And at the other end,
Oh, again, Cassidy! Oh,
wow.
My goodness.
3 intercepts in 5 seconds. And the score counts on the siren. The 2 arms go in the air, and the Lightning finish in blistering form, confidence-boosting moments. What a finish to the first quarter at RAC Arena. Bacheldor and Cassidy remind you of those names. Wow. All right, let's get to the break. You can just see the action is starting to fire up. I hope you're enjoying it. Have a look at this as we go to the break. Blistering from Cassidy. SSN minor semi-final here in Perth.
Just a stats check. So it's a really even battle out there. 75 apiece in the centre pass, 57 on the turnover to score. So they're the ones we want to punish. I think sometimes we're ignoring that little one right in front of us. All right, it's all down the court. So just give it. Once you've given it, next 3 steps, find the space. All right, the width and depth is there. So just open up our vision, look past the mess sometimes as well. All right, 4 general play, bit of nerves there to start, but they're on 7. And we have more gains than them. We're putting pressure on. So again, start the quarter 0-0. Our skill execution, the most important thing, and building pressure across the court. Cara, you set the tone at the start of the game. We lost the first one, you're back into D. Everyone was. Good job. Kazi, you're coming back in. Let's make sure that Rachel, good job. Awesome job. So keep playing that front run unless you can see Courtney dropping in close, and then you can flip around on that, alrighty? Just keep working your angle on Shanice. Try and keep her on that one side of the court as much as possible. Then you can clearly see when the beaten parties, and then you've got a lovely flying jump into that, alright? Expect misses still in there. It's a pressure, it's a final. All right, every time they shoot, we think it's a miss, and we're blocking out or tapping it out of there. All right, good job. Keep the chat going. The connection's the most important thing. Good job on the first phase of the centre pass. I reckon you can take some of those wide ones. Yeah, absolutely. Got nothing to lose. Remember, we said they're going to score, so take those wide ones, take our feet. Great job out there. Keep working your angles. It's a really even battle out there. 75 apiece in the centre pass, 57 on the turnover to score. So they're the ones we want to punish. I think sometimes we're ignoring that little one right in front of us. All right, it's all down the court. So just give it. Once you've given it, next 3 steps, find the space. All right, the width and depth is there. So just open up our vision, look past the mess sometimes as well.
Well, welcome back to RAC Arena. That was Belinda Reynolds. And coaching in her first final as a head coach. Of course, she's had plenty of finals experience alongside her West Coast Fever coaches, historically 9 finals. That was quarter time, brought to you by Origin Energy. Scoreline 18-16. It was a terrific last 15 seconds of the quarter. Let's go straight down to Caitlin Bassett, who was inside Dan Ryan's camp.
Yeah, Dan Ryan, happy with his troops for just imploring them for more effort. He wants a higher work rate, and as we can see, he's made a couple of positional changes. So we can see Kelsey Brown is now out in the centre position. Steph Anstis in wing defence, which slides Sunday Ariang back to the goal defence. So just a higher work rate and some more turnover ball for his side.
So the changes for the West Coast Fever actually go back to their lineup against the Lightning in historical games.
Yeah, and we know that from this lineup, Dan Ryan is looking for a little bit more speed and punch on attack, and I think he wouldn't be upset with a bit more turnover defensively either. And Jess Anstis has certainly had some incredible form in the past against Liz Watson.
Big shout out to Mahalia Cassidy, who took 2 flying intercepts at the back of that quarter. Really stepping up in that wing defence role. Big task on Teague Neal today. So the Lightning open up the first centre pass. The scoreline here pops the score out to 3. Biggest lead of the game so far.
Yeah, Lightning, for me, really setting the standard defensively in this game so far. Last week, they had 0 rebounds or intercepts, and they've already got 4 intercepts for the game so far, showing great variety, as we see here in the box strategy that they put out there.
We mentioned Kelsey Brown onto the court. The last time Brown would have played in finals would have been with the Lightning when she won a couple of premierships back in 2017 and 18. Probably one final with the Pies. I think Collingwood won a couple of premierships in this yellow uniform.
Yeah, there's been a lot of netball played since then for Kelsey Brown, and I'm certain she would like to add another premiership to her mantelpiece.
Pretwell, quick give and go. Herself on that 45. Happy to thread the needle, isn't she, on that shooter-to-shooter pass between the 2 defenders of the Fever. It's the confidence they have in their connection. So the West Coast Fever struggling to get across the line here. Teague Neal running in circles at the moment, so Cassidy probably having her measure early.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Gordy. While centre pass to goal sits at 75%, they have been struggling to send first and second phase forward. A lot has been going back.
Presence of Courtney Bruce in the goal defence role as well. Wants to hunt across the transverse line. Very good at it. Mai just opening up the width of the court, easily finding Conan. Lovely timed connection. So the Lightning wanting to win a premiership from 4th position. That's where they ended the season. Did it in 2018 as a club. West Coast Fever, 5 consecutive years of finals. Only missed 2 years of finals since SSN came to fruition. Only the 1 premiership to their name. Cassidy, lovely open for Liz Watson. So real confidence in the feeding at the moment with the Lightning shooters. And the finish going the way of Steph Pretwell. She's now 6 from 7. 1 from 3 in the super shot. Again, Fever forced backwards, Stace.
Yeah, they are struggling to access that ball forward, and I don't think it matters so much if it's a part of your strategy, but Fever absolutely like to play quickly and direct to goal. Keeping your head in that moment will be important.
Lightning are best in the league in holding up that first phase, forcing their direct opponents backwards. So you're seeing exactly that, which is all you'd want as a coach, is to know that what you do well, you're doing on a day that's exceptionally important.
Yeah, Belinda Reynolds, a fantastic defensive coach. Certainly seeing the fruits of her labour out on court today.
Where you are, we attack.
There she is, Belinda Reynolds, moving across to the sunny coast, back home to Perth. Her family will be here.
Oh, a little falcon there from Conan. A wry smile on her face. It's Sunday Ariang reads that swing of the circle fantastically.
Conan still smiling about the falcon, looks up at the big screen and sees her noggin on it. Needs to get the head back into gear though. Won't be happy with that cross-court feed.
No, but we're seeing immediate, whilst Sunday Ariang has just been penalised for that, we are seeing immediate reward again from her switching from wing defence to goal defence.
Katie Ann Dehaney now at 7 penalties. Here's the moment. Oh, yeah, gee, that's not good in slow motion.
It's an example of how the best in the business struggle at the basics sometimes.
Well, that was a great take by Fowler Nemad, but I'm going to pay tribute to Irvin's footwork. She actually got herself in terrific position there to contest ball.
Oh, Ariane, great on the recovery there. We are seeing very opposite stories, though, on centre pass. Lightning incredibly quick through that first and second phase. Oh, beautiful work. Great patience by Lightning. Really great resilience by the defenders.
Well, goal for goal in the second quarter. Had a couple of little momentum shifts for both sides in that opening term. Of course, the Lightning finishing with some big moments and off Mahalia Cassidy, which gave them the 18-16 lead, but 6-all here in the second. Fowler 22 straight, 98% from 1-point range this season, overall 95% accuracy. Lovely sweep, and then just has the presence, Conan, to sweep herself close to the post.
Yeah, absolutely. We know that she's deadly from underneath the post in terms of shooting accuracy, and why not feed the ball out when you've got a Liz Watson to send it straight back in for you.
Feet nailed into the middle corridor. Nice connection with the mid-court through to the shooting team.
Yeah, and we've seen a change there for Lightning on the goal defence. Courtney Bruce going to the bench to have a little look at things. Hinchcliffe onto goal defence.
Watson just trying to work where she's going. The swing to Fretwell and then just finds easy front space on Dehaney. Steps back, rocks. Well, having some moments, isn't she, off the defensive hand of Dehaney.
Yeah, excuse me. Dehaney having really great lean over the shot. Fretwell having to do that step back, but it's nothing we've not seen from her before.
Well, it's a big offensive rebound, wasn't it, from Conan? Fever dominating that stat in the opening first quarter.
Bunnings break, wing defence.
To the difference. Fran Williams in the back of play with the GK bib on. So both coaches exercising the rolling subs. Dehaney, that time front space and then concedes. So Fretwell, well, again, doesn't like the big hand, but this time cleverly works herself closer to post.
Yeah,
and offloads the shooter to shooter.
She does. Dehaney's absolutely getting in and doing the work over the shot.
So 24-27, the Lightning with the last shot at the post. It'll be a Fever centre pass when we come back from this HCF tactical timeout. 8 minutes on the clock. And Belinda Reynolds doing a great job early here with the team in yellow.
Calm minds in attack. Before the 2-point period, I want us to take some risks now in defence, all right? Right now, we are running through balls to create something for each other, all righty? There, stay, but then they'll have a crack. But no second one to the transverse line. Can't have the second one to the transverse line. All righty, here, go hard. We have another timeout. All right? Risks in defence, calm minds, and skill execution, the most important thing. All right? Let's make sure that we get our hips around so we can see that connection and give that little one. That's our ball speed. Let's go.
That patience in attack is awesome. We're seeing the day we're making smart choices. Go for a risk here, all right? Nothing to lose. Let's go.
So energy well up as you would expect it to be. And it is risk time. Let's go hard defensively. That's the call from Belinda Reynolds. And this is net points. There's your match leaders powered by ePower. Fowler Nemad up where she usually is. But I want to draw your attention not just to the next one, but the next four. All Sunshine Coast Lightning. And what about Lisa Mai sitting at 43 Nissan net points in her first ever final?
Yeah, she's looking so confident out there, very composed with ball in hand and having a great defensive impact as well.
Adversely, at the other end, Shanice Beckford finds easy road to Fowler Nemad, but herself sitting at -1 Nissan net points. And now just off the back of that feed, gets into the positives.
It is a great change here in the timeout. Fran Williams onto goalkeeper, I think hoping to combat that moving circle and speed a bit more that Conan offers.
take the single, the West Coast Fever now with the scoreline pressure on them, potentially to have to take the two. Look for the risk, the fly from the Lightning defence. 5 minutes of netball coming your way with super shot, I think, on the mind of the West Coast Fever.
Yeah, I think they know that today's game is do or die and that there's no reason to leave any of the potential tools that you have in the toolbox.
In the meantime, Conan mastering the 1 point game. Fretwell mastering the drive and cut and the finish at the post. 7 from 9. There's the range for Fretwell in this minor semi-final. Alice Teague-Neal finding rare space as Courtney Bruce gets front position and a little touch with the follow-through, so starting to have some real presence defensively for the Lightning.
Absolutely, the briefest period of time on the bench and came back out and really proven a point as to why she should be on there.
Gain sitting at 5-3, and there's a gain to goal return for the Lightning. Off the moment here, Harvey Norman replay, left hand. The contest was anyone's, but the power sat with Bruce.
Beautiful front position from her in that moment.
Rebound again. Oh, gee, Conan had the ball. Somehow Fran Williams was able to punch it out.
Yeah, the tiniest tip from Williams, who sits up there defensively on the rebound stats.
So the West Coast Fever know the importance of this goal. Who else would you look to go to? In Fowler Nemard draws the contact on Irvin, steps in and takes one of the Lightning centre pass. Scoreline now at 3.
What a brilliant matchup we're seeing here, though. Often you see Fowler Nemard in the one-on-one and you know with almost certainty that the ball's going to land, but Fever really having to pay attention and give respect to Irvin with the height and the athleticism that she offers in that circle.
Shanice Beckford found a bit of space as the attention was drawn to her Jamaican goal shooter teammate. So 2 now the difference. Bruce flying. Look at the confidence that's been building throughout the year as the minutes increased. Power 5 siren goes. So far, just the one super shot has fallen off. 4 attempts throughout the game, 3 coming off Fretwell. And the timing off for Ariang on the rebound. So Cara Conan just checking the nose. Looks like there is a bit of blood there, so she's taken a knock. We'll get that cleaned up in this HCF tactical timeout. 31-28. Now Dan Ryan calls his first HCF timeout.
Right, gonna roll KD back in. All right, ready to go again. Guys, in nice and close. In nice and close. What I want from everyone in this 5 minutes is the real level of patience to stick to process here. All right, don't need to blow anything out of the water. Don't need to panic in any regard. Just keep chipping away and stay to our plan. All right, so centre pass conversion really important. And then if we get our moment of courage, we go for it. All right, so stay with it. Just want to be right in the contest at half time.
Just remember that the earlier we can win it, the better. Okay, so first phase, second phase, our transverse line pressure needs to up. All right, up the transverse line pressure, make it hard for them to penetrate. Okay, and let's keep them out of there. Yeah? Let's go.
Okay. All right, nice and controlled here, guys. In control of what we're doing. We're just chipping away, playing the long game. Here we go.
So there you go. The Fever fans are hoping that the West Coast Fever can do something special in this 4 minutes and 36, maybe get their nose a little closer to that 31 scoreline. And I thought Dan Ryan in that moment almost had a level of calm and pause about him, wondering whether or not his charges at the moment are getting caught up in the pressure of the moment.
Yeah, you're right, and I think that's an important moment and feeling to coach. It isn't necessarily about what the scoreline looks like, but it's the way in which your players are reacting to the moment and absolutely telling them to stick to plan.
So another rolling change for the Fever as Katie Ann Dehaney comes on the court. Caitlin Bassett, much together in that timeout from the Lightning.
Yeah, look, for the Lightning, Courtney Bruce and Ash Irvin came together straight away, and it was interesting to see that dynamic. I think Bruce has been more of a coach than anything to Ash this season from the sideline. So those two there on the court just talking about continually repositioning body. I think Ash Irvin's been doing a fantastic job against Malanema, but they know how important it is in this last 5 minutes in particular.
Well, could be establishing a new Diamonds connection with Bruce and Irvin. Goal defence goalkeeper, it looks impressive early in the game. The penalty's the way of the Fever, 29-20. My swings to the top with Watson, and that middle corridor opening. Opting for the Lightning. They've had a good balance this season as the second half has rolled on. Finding their moments to take super shots. Nice fly from Cassidy.
Absolutely, and built from that first phase defensive pressure of Bruce as well.
$14 apiece this quarter. Fowler still yet to miss. 2 from 3, Beckford.
In defence beside.
Conan free in backspace, but that'll be a contact on Ariang. So Fretwell a chance here to drop her second super shot. Scoreline pushing out to 4 if this goes. Yeah, oh gee, it looks so good.
It did, and she looked like she was really making the most of that moment to take composure to go and get that ball ahead of putting up a super shot. Fantastic moment here for Fever on transition through court as we see Cassidy putting Jess Anstis on notice.
Being a terrific menace defensively today, Cassidy, probably playing one of the better games I've seen her this season.
I agree, finding that fantastic balance of physicality, but also getting herself in the contest too.
On 26 Nissen net point, should I say, and Teague Nealed at 26.5. Beckford goes up for the big super shot, and what a big moment, rebound. The hand, Irvin, the scraps to Fever, Beckford for the second time in a row. Well, that absolutely woke up the crowd here at RAC Arena. A thunderous applause when that Suncorp super shot dropped. The scoreline now back to level.
Yeah, Dan Ryan straight up and in the coach's box, driving the intensity as we see here. Lightning Fever going ahead for the first time in this quarter.
There's the last 10, starting to get a little green. Conan will take the single. It's the long game that counts here, 33 apiece. Back of play, Riley Batcheldor being asked to step onto the court. Fowler Nemart takes a single. So the 2 super shot threats now on for the Lightning. The tactics continue.
Yeah, Fever very happy to be doubling on Fretwell in the previous 4 minutes. Now they're going to have to do more work.
Batcheldor comes on as cool as a cucumber with just over a minute and does what the coach asked. Suncorp super shot, number 2 for her, should I say. Who could forget the first one? Plenty of time. Let's draw your attention to what happened in the last 20 seconds of the first quarter. 3 intercepts in 10 seconds and a big super shot. 40 to play here.
Oh, really uncharacteristic there as we see Batcheldor with the fumble. Dehaney immediately on the pickup, but Lightning immediately in their transition defence. Fever yet to make it out of that goal third. Oh, as the defensive pressure of My forces ball back to Lightning.
Well, the Lightning defence was absolutely in the face of the Fever. They've given themselves a chance to score here. The big question will be, is it a 1 or a 2? My now with the hell ball. So the Fever defence goes. 10 seconds to score. Dehaney trying to find Ariang. They go long to Teague Neal. Goes big to Fowler Nemart. What a take. It's a contact call. So Fowler Nemart to score a single. It's a sure thing for the West Coast Fever. And they put their nose in front at the halftime buzzer. Well, does this tell us what end of quarters are going to be like? 2 have been crucial so far. 1 to the Lightning and 1 to the Fever. Oh, gee, it sets us up for a very intriguing second half of netball, doesn't it? 36-35, a 20-17 quarter to the home side, the West Coast Fever. And Fowler Nemart grew another foot to take that last ball. Let's go down to Caitlin Bassett with a play that's just been unbelievable in this first 30.
Thanks to Mahali Cassidy, a ripping opening half for you guys. Yourself an absolute menace in defence. Tell us about what defensive structures are working for you.
Oh, we're just trying to cause as much chaos as possible. We know that it's going to end up in Janelle's hands, so we need to win the ball earlier, and that's what we're trying our hardest to do.
There's plenty of turnovers from each team. Is the pressure that much higher now it's a final?
Oh, of course, it's do or die. We know we need to win this game, obviously, otherwise our season's done. And we've set ourselves up really well in the first half, and we know we have the legs to finish it off.
Well, thank you and good luck for the second half.
Cheers, thanks, Seabass. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Blistering first 30 for Mahalia Cassidy. The scoreline sits at 1 as the Lightning defence go in to have a chat with the umpires. Welcome back to RAC Arena. Two sides playing for their life here today as the West Coast Fever fans fill the arena. Lightning had to wait till round 14 to find their way into finals, and it was under their head coach, Belinda Reynolds, who we welcome to the coverage and say congratulations, B, on making your first finals campaign with the Lightning. You get to return home. Just give me your assessment of that first 30. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was exactly where we thought the game would be. Two quality sides going at it, two great attacking sides in the competition, so just trying to put as much pressure on as we can.
Belinda, we know you're particularly strong as a defensive coach and you've got an absolute luxury of talent across the court there. What have you been working on in training and what are we seeing out there today?
Yeah, obviously we do have different weapons in our defence end. It's just trying to win that ball early. So yeah, trying to put as much pressure out in front as we can.
Caitlin Bassett, I'll throw you over to the last question with Belinda Reynolds while you're there.
Belinda, you've got a world-class attacking end. What's been the instructions for them, I guess, as the pressure rises in this last half?
Yeah, just to keep their skill execution, obviously seeing the D and just taking on the drives.
Good on you, B. All the best today.
Thank you.
Belinda Reynolds, appreciate the time of all coaches throughout the season, in particular in a finals campaign where the pressure certainly rises. West Coast Fever lining up through Beckford, offloads to Fowler Nemard. It is the connection between the two. 3 goals with the Fever to follow on the centre pass. So the Lightning defence needing to do some work here. Nice little fake. They find the pocket with Kelsey Brown. And nice high release from Brown.
Yeah, an early mini break by Fever, and something that I'm sure Lightning have kept their eye on is how strong Fever are in their third quarters. They've won 11 from 14, and last week they took out a 22-13 quarter.
Let's go down to Dan Ryan. Dan, appreciate your time. Had to work hard through that first 30.
Yeah, really hard, and great response in the second quarter, and it's a great contest from both teams. So yeah, we need a big third quarter here.
Dan, how important is the combinations and the luxury of changing things up to combat the different variety that Lightning have in that shooting circle?
Yeah, so important, and I guess both our goalkeepers and goal defenders can do different type of things. So we've got to keep challenging them and using our weapons in there. So it's working pretty well, but we just need some more ball.
Dan, you've got a plethora of options to go to an attack. How do you make that call? Is it preempting a change? Is it waiting till things maybe fall away a little bit?
No, look, you've got to keep reading the game and know that we've got different skills on the bench to inject an impact where we need to. And, so far this group's doing a really good job.
Best wishes, Dan.
Thanks, guys.
Again, a big thanks to both Dan Ryan and Belinda Reynolds. Scoreline now 40-36. Ariang out to play on the centre pass. Quick to move with the Lightning.
See that challenge outside of the circle there and the Harvey Norman replay from Courtney Bruce, unfortunately catching the back of Teague Neal.
So 4-1 the start this quarter to the Fever. Brett though, tracking at 73% accuracy today, 8 from 11. They're on target for her season average. There's your breakdowns quarter to quarter. Beckford trying to work their way through this defensive box. It is a big defensive circle, isn't it? I was thinking at halftime it would be the biggest defensive circle in the league in terms of height and stature.
Absolutely, and they're putting that to great effect out there. They're incredibly athletic with their height as well, which means they're able to cover that much more space.
Oh, Cassidy. Well, it's hard to imagine that slipped out of the hands or whether she's hit Teague Neal as she's gone to release the ball. Alice Teague Neal was standing out of play. So let's see if the karma gods have anything to do with this moment. Fowler Nemard, unfamiliar territory, offloads to the smallest on court and Brown. And a quick
Contact goalkeeper.
one to Beckford under all sorts of pressure from Irvin. Good contest.
So we see that Mahalia Cassidy did cap Talish Teagnell, but she did make that decision to step across the front, which is what ordinarily you would encourage the attacker to do, to get away, but impeded herself in that moment, unfortunately.
West Coast Fever making the most of the moment with another couple. And the score now sitting at 6, a 7-2 start to this quarter. Their best quarter of the season is the third. Lizzie Watson, that's the way to do it, isn't it? Just floor it to the circle edge. Conan opened up very easily. And that's the form they need to find in terms of their attacking flow. Ava Black.
Yeah, absolutely right. No doubt that Belinda Reynolds is happy to just pull another weapon out of her toolbox in Ava Black to put her out there onto the court to have impact.
She calls Ava Black the ball winner. That's what they need. Conan back with Watson again. Patiently waits, then Fretwell the quick give and go. Finds the middle. So Steph Fretwell, when in need, just steps up and does the job, doesn't she?
Yeah, let's see what Black can do on her first centre pass. If it even gets there, which it won't.
So Ava Black's running up. It's a replay ball called here by the umpire. So they do get the win here, the Lightning, and an important moment for them to convert. Contact on the outside, Brown. Conan, front space, won't shoot from there. Fretwell will come to the front, does. That's the pattern. Marianne. Well, just the patience. She knew how important that shot was. A little win off Fever's centre pass. Bruce wanting to play the ball quickly. Has the height advantage on Beckford. Goes to Black. Mai the fake finds Fretwell. Conan, well, standing on her own at the baseline. It was an easy one. I'm not sure what Dehaney was looking for, but Conan enjoyed the moment.
Yeah, caught flat-footed in that moment.
So they fought their way back into this quarter. The Lightning sitting at 8-6. Oh, and Irvin, well, why wouldn't you? And then the ball goes to, well, Beckford does not like that at all. She felt she had the ball. We'll get a look at the replay, I'm sure. For the Lightning, though, this is the fight back.
Yeah, beautiful defensive impact by Irvin. For me at the time, I think it was possession to Mai. As we see a change there in the goalkeeper position. Fran Williams back into goalkeeper.
Ariang outbeaten by height and execution, but then the shot goes wayward.
So smart by Fran Williams there. She was up late but managed to get a finger onto it to push it off of Conan and out of court for their back line.
So the Fever into transition, and one thing's for sure today, as the Harvey Norman replay shows the moment, and the ball was with Mai, is that impact players for both sides have done exactly that today, impacted.
Yeah, and what a luxury, and I think those are the best teams in SSN who are really able to use all 10 players as a weapon. All 11 players this season.
So the Watson-Anstis battle continues now. Captain on vice-captain.
Oh, great front position by Ariang. I was so interested to see if Mai was going to throw that.
Courtney Bruce comes in and frustrates the Fever again in defence. Doing unbelievable stuff around that transverse line today is Courtney Bruce. Turns the ball over, silences the crowd.
Takes the wind out of their sails in that moment there, and important for Lightning for them to be able to get that centre pass through to a goal.
Well, she's been crafting her way through this goal defence position as Courtney Bruce. A little bit of time in the role when she was at West Coast Fever. We see her do it at Diamonds, and we see her do it well. Holding on by 4, the Fever. A 10-7 quarter. The Lightning, though, finding their moments. Conan back out to Mai off the circle edge. West Coast Fever in amongst the penalties, 42-32. Oh, gee. Well, Sunday Ariang is going to say that she didn't contact. I think she did. I actually think she did.
She was in the landing space. I think while she wasn't necessarily competing for the ball, it did impede Conan's ability to land.
And potentially that is the difference. Had she have gone for ball, that might have been a different equation. There you go.
Have a look here. I tell a lie. She did stick her hand out.
I think for me, that was the third pass Lightning had put in. The first one, it went over Ariane's head. The second one, Ariane got it. They were really brave to put that one in the third time. They probably should have faked it instead.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Worked out for them, though, in that moment. Able to ride out the waves of this first 10 minutes of quarter 3.
So 5:50 on the clock. Shanice Beckford has gone 2 from 3. And then opts to take the penalty, and somehow Irvin gets a hand to it. Bruce fights for it. And that is an absolute wasted opportunity for the West Coast Fever, and the Lightning will do everything possible here to punish them. Scoreline could go to 44. Look at this. So Irvin, deflection. Bruce, 2 hands for the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can bring the scoreline back to 2 here and literally take a centre pass for a super shot. But the Fever defence have done this time and time again. When they throw it away, they bring out the attacking defence.
There is no such thing in momentum as momentum in today's game. Both teams are so on it in those transition moments, which is super, super important.
Well, they earned it defensively, but it's a get-out-of-jail moment in attack, and Dan Ryan sits to the bench rolling his eyes. So, 10 seconds before we hit the power 5. The Lightning down by 4. They are the ones taking the super shots at the moment. 2 going the way of Batcheldor, 2 going the way of Fretwell.
Oh, I was going to say, beautiful work by Conan on the outside of the circle there, but Fran Williams staying in the game, having the presence of mind to come up with that important rebound.
Well, she sits 3rd for rebounds this season, equal 3rd, should I say. On contact call being called at the line. And she's been monstrous, hasn't she? Bottom of your screen, showing you just why.
Yeah, gets her hand in those moments. Conan rolls out to have a reflection on that moment as Batcheldor comes in on the back of shot.
West Coast Fever convert. A Lightning centre pass. Fran Williams comes off after a massive moment, playing in her first SSN finals. Beckford put under extreme pressure and finds a blistering second phase ball.
Beautiful work there. Both teams not giving an inch, but Fever still confident to let that ball go.
Well, Dan Ryan has just got some pep in his step. And you can feel the ebbs and flows. I hate saying that, but that is simply what is happening in this game at the moment. Big moments for both sides, shifting the momentum. Batcheldor on the court, swoops around, has been very good from here with the hands up in the air, does what's needed for those people. The small fans in the house here at RAC Arena. For the difference, a big centre pass moment for the Fever to keep the scoreboard ticking.
Ball going backwards again on first and second phase for Fever. They're really having to work to get their given possession through to a shot.
Using the height of Alice Teague-Neal was Brown into the pocket, patiently waits for Fowler Nemard to open up. And they notch up the half century. Fowler Nemard sitting at the top of the Nissan net points, powered by E-Power. And Watson's found her way there, but Fowler Nemard is a mile ahead on birthday number 35. Again, same spot, needs the same result for the Lightning, and does so. After a week off in round 14, the homework has been done by Batcheldor, and the confidence of the youngster on the court, giving the Lightning their chance to stay close.
Yeah, incredible composure from her in that moment, particularly as Fretwell isn't quite firing in that super shot period just yet.
Just 21 years of age, Batcheldor, playing in her 26th National League game. First final, look at her. Moving around, not at all worried by Dehaney at this point. This time Fretwell, 3 times from the right-hand side. Big rebound. Now out the left-hand side, another one for Batcheldor. The hustle for the rebound, and it goes with the West Coast Fever. Possession, the call for Sunday Ariang.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Batchelor was straight onto that missed shot, knowing it wasn't quite going to go in, but Fever up on the contest and able to pick up those scraps.
So contact call. And it is on Lisa Maimai, so the Fever will have a spare player in Brown. They find her. There's your Harvey Norman replay. Here's the fight for the rebound. And then Lizzie Watson just trying to get to the loose ball pickup, couldn't get there. 15-12 this quarter. Pickups going the way of Anstis and Irvin for the difference. 90 seconds on the clock. Gee, that is a I'm sending it a hospital Sunday Ariang moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure Ariang was fully willing to commit to that moment, hoping that the umpire was going to protect her with a penalty call, but the ball was in the air for the contesting, that's for sure.
It was courage from Ava Black, wasn't it? The ball hunter. So another one for the West Coast Fever. And a centre pass to follow. Lightning's defence needs something. Anstis, again, that cross-court ball. Bruce goes for a look. Well taken by Beckford. They find Brown on the fly through the circle edge. So clever play under pressure for the West Coast Fever attack. 6 the difference. That's where they found themselves out right early in the start of this first quarter.
They have. Lightning have done a fantastic job, both scoreboard-wise and defensive pressure, in order to continue to keep this quarter score close.
Well, the two threats for the Lightning, both very, very good at what they do. 58% accuracy for this lady. She's had a few big ones. That one falls short, and a big, strong take from Ariang.
It was incredible rebound and really great teammateship, if that's even a word, by Fretwell in that moment to try and protect the defence of the shot, but unfortunately still fell short.
6-2 rebounds. Big for the Fever. 7 seconds on the clock. They take the single. Biggest lead of the game with 2 seconds to go. The West Coast Fever take the ball back. Will get the centre pass. And they really have shown why third quarter dominance is so important to them. They've been brilliant all year at it, and they've set themselves up to go with confidence into the final quarter. The Lightning with some work to do, but this game is far from over. Don't go anywhere. The final 15 minutes to see whose season stays alive and who goes home. Right back after the break.
All right, so start in there for us. A little bit tighter on the first ball contest, big arms, then we get you going hard on that contest. Great work in there, awesome. Great work, great in attack, all right? Keep that drive on phase one, get to the line, and great middle corridor and long court, all right? As soon as you get one ball in your hand on transition, you get in the jets on and go, all right? Great stuff. Really great patience here, guys. All right, 93% of centre passes converted here, all right? So really disciplined, okay? Just try and really focus when Courtney's going hard with you. You're really strong on the catch and turn quickly, and then Al be available for on the next link. Really, really good stuff, all right? Now remember, when the second defender drops in, just make sure whichever defender you've got the body on, there's a really clear angle and you're not worried too much about that other defender. So stay alive and we will always find you, all right? Just a little bit of extra height on the feed into Jay when it's the shooter inside the circle, all right? So great trust and connection. Really well done, all right? Keep using your fakes on the outside, fake and place. Great little pass and cut with Shane to get to the edge, all right? Doing great, mate, well done, really good. Much better punching our transverse line, all right? So real urgency to turn nice and quick and then connect onto the next one, all right? Keep that vision down that court, all right? Guys, between the four of us here, this first 5 minutes is just our best discipline and smarts, all right? So we're keeping our scoreboard pressure. The work rate is high, our skills are slick, all right? So stay really in tune with that, all right? And much better centre pass defence. We're getting there. Now, within this last quarter, win some ball, all right? Win some ball, all right?
Well, welcome back to the final 15 minutes of our semi-final minor one here at RAC Arena. And I want to say this to you, it is quarter time brought to you by Origin Energy. They say you can't be old and wise if you were never young and crazy. Well, 8 minutes from this lady, Riley Batcheldor, and she shot 4 from 7 super shots. She's had absolute courage in doing it, Stace, and she will be so necessary for them in this final 5 minutes of their minor semi-final.
Absolutely, and the ability to have 2 super shot threats out there challenges any defensive combination, specifically the Fever, who is an area of defence of work on for them. Bachelor is really taking on the super shot duties today. Fretwell's only 1 from 5 at the moment, but I would not count her out to step up and do what's needed for her team.
Well, Bachelor gets the nod to stay on the court with Conan on the sideline. Let's set up how this has unfolded so far. The Lightning won the first quarter 18-16, some big defensive moments. A return from the Fever in the second, 20-17, but it was a topsy-turvy quarter. And then Fever in blistering form in the third, 18-12, to set up a 54-47 scoreline as we head in to the last quarter. Big names all over the court, big finals experience all over the court. Who steps up? Who does the job? 15 minutes to find out the answers to those questions as the whistle gets us underway and the West Coast Fever with the centre pass to start. Shanice Beckford staying on the court last week, only the 30 minutes from her. Oh, had to look everywhere and eventually goes to the ladies she mostly finds with a goal assist in Fowler Nembhard, who at this point is 50 straight goals, and that is 51.
Incredible work. Beckford slipped at that second phase of centre pass, was still able to get up and find a route to passage.
Go to Caitlin Bassett. Riley Bachelor still on the court. Some words to her from Coach Belinda Reynolds.
Yeah, very passionate was Belinda Reynolds at that last break. She told the whole team, you have to fight this contest. You got 15 minutes, get in there and fight for every second of it. She wants more movement in that attacking line, which is why Riley Bachelor is still out there. And then finally, Steph Fretwell, she's backing her to keep going to the post. The only way a shooter can get their eye in is to keep putting up those shots.
Spoken like a true shooter, Caitlin Bassett, as Fowler Nembhard a little further away from home than she's used to, but gets there in the end. So Bachelor out on the lead with Fretwell. Sweeps around, backspace not there, but it opens the sweep for Fretwell. Rocks back and then delivers for the Lightning. Steph Fretwell today, 11 from 14 at 79%. That accuracy creeping the right way. Patience from Beckford.
Yeah, really early drop there by Bruce, which did definitely slow down that feed in, but both defenders giving Fowler Nembhard a little bit too much space. Ball could still go in.
Lizzie Watson just sees the space when it's open to the circle edge and just monsters it, doesn't she? Sitting at 79 Nissan net points, plenty of ball in hand. They go again, so defence good here. They know how important it is that Lightning not to give ball away in the 1-point game. Fretwell again, here a moment ago, doesn't like it over to Haney. Surely this time.
Oh, unlucky there by Fretwell, really seeming to have the yips at the post at the moment. Fever definitely making the most out of those defensive rebound opportunities.
So the West Coast Fever in transition. The missed shot rebound. We'll find Teague Neal at the top of the circle with Bruce out of play. And again, their way to Beckford. And it dribbles in for Shanice Beckford. Has stepped up today, the Jamaican. 29, playing her 15th games, played in every single game.
Oh, I have to stop you there because Sunday Ariang just ran on court to pick up one of her braids, and she's going to hate me for pointing that out. But that was definitely a braid on the court.
Well, it's a wardrobe malfunction, we'll call it. I won't dare ask where she put it, Stacey Francis Bateman, because there's not a lot going on underneath that dress.
Lightning have opted to bring back on Cara Conan, and I think, you know, when push comes to shove, Riley Bachelor does create a lot more movement in that circle, but Cara Conan is that tall holding shooter when they need that quick option, so expect her to post up, and you can see that physicality already between her and Dehaney.
Well, Sunday Ariang feeling a little lighter, one braid down on that contest. 9 the difference.
As we see here, the Harvey Norman replay, Ariane catching Conan, coming through from behind, but not quite cleanly.
So I think that was a short pass call, and Fowler Nemard pleading at the umpire that was not. The umpire is the one with the whistle. She's called it, so this is a big moment for the Lightning. Opportunity to convert off a Fever centre pass. My into the attack. Watson doing what she does. Conan's back onto the court as we see Fretwell. Huge moment for the Lightning. Huge.
As we see here, that Harvey Norman replay.
Not a short pass. Chance for the defence to get through. It's the rule. Lightning in the meantime. Quick offload. There's that confidence of connection once Conan comes back on the court. Wasn't there with Bachador a second ago. So they take two. Let's watch this centre pass. Good defence from the Lightning. They force the Fever backwards. Brown, good vision to get across the line. Goes again. She's been terrific, Kelsey Brown. Feel like she's just stepped up and put the weight of the world on her shoulders in the middle.
She has, and I don't think she's had that many minutes in the previous round, so has been sat there watching the game and seeing how the game plan has unfolded. Absolutely making the most of that time when she's out there on court.
Back of screen, Courtney Bruce with the GK bib on, so Irvin will eventually come to the bench again. Belinda Reynolds continuing to roll and try to find some solutions. Brown.
Fever yet to find a solution to the first phase centre pass, unfortunately losing discipline in that moment. Ball going out of court.
Well, critically important, a chance for a two-goal play here. Cassidy, my nearly with the footwork, careful. So clever defensive pressure to bring ball through court, and Conan, no, not the finish! Oh, Cara Conan!
You would have bet strong money that that second opportunity of the shot was going to go in, but as is the nature of finals, and Fever able to stay in there to pick up a rebound.
Well, she's been the culprit of that a couple of times throughout the season, and it is not what she would have wanted to deliver for her team just then. And in the meantime, the West Coast Fever, well, they punish at the other end. It was their centre pass. They lost it. Conan missed that shot, missed the second shot. Ariane got the rebound. And the West Coast Fever keep their nose in front by 8 with 8:50 to play. HCF tactical timeout. Dan Ryan will rally the troops.
Going to come in for a couple of minutes to keep up. All right, get on that first ball. All right, guys, everyone nice and close. Just move over a little bit, Coming in. All right, really important here that there's confidence and assertiveness in every single one of our behaviours at all points in time, all right? So lift the work rate, have great ability to back yourself and back your teammates, let the ball go, take on the drives nice and hard, and we grind in defence. Keep siding our circle in attack, letting the ball go when it's on. JJ's got a great hold for us. We've got great weapons out the front, and you guys in defence, just look for that one more ball every time. All right, here we go.
Increase our work rate now and unleash that beat. Let's go,
Great confidence from Dan Ryan in his team then to be able to ride out these moments, telling them to stick to task, grind it out, stay together. Really happy with how things are going, but knows that this game is not finished yet.
Caitlin Bassett from the Lightning, what have they got to do?
Back themselves with their movement in that attacking end. They know that strength is their moving goal circle, so Cara Conan needs to get on her bike and keep moving like she is now.
So they've rolled Fran Williams in onto Conan. And the Lightning need to come out of this tactical timeout with some real vengeance. West Coast Fever have been good defensively. That's a confidence ball in from my and that's a better finish from Conan. The West Coast Fever have been asked to play with discipline but confidence. And that's a discipline moment. Back to the line from Beckford, having to do the work. Look at the 2-on-1 on Fowler Nemard. Eventually repositions
Yeah, a slightly shorter circle, but a little bit more movement from Lightning. They are lacking in gains so far this quarter, which, as well as their efficiency on attack, they will need to be able to start to close this gap.
Good space found by Mai. Williams rolls around the back. There's a bit of a toy with Conan on the take. They find their way to post the Lightning. 8-all this quarter. They need to make some inroads though, otherwise the West Coast Fever will continue to gain confidence. There's the gains this quarter so far, 2-zip. .7:22 to play out. Oh, gee, Mai. Well, it was a great chase from Cassidy, but she just wasn't aware that that ball was coming her way. And it wasn't really placed in the best space for her. They'll now have to defend for their lives. Look at the box score. It's almost a diamond setup. Mai will come to the point. Courtney Bruce. Surely she's the one that goes hunting. Brown senses the moment, plays the patience, goes the pocket.
Yeah, I think you're right there. That was the moment that Fever were doing a really great job of keeping narrow on this side of the court. When they did actually open up and swing, Bruce had already sucked back onto Fallon Emmards and missed that opportunity for a fly.
So they turn over the Lightning centre pass, the wayward ball off the hand of Mai. And the Fever just want to keep this scoreboard ticking over. And you sit here with 6:30 on the clock, and I genuinely am sitting here going, this game is far from over. 2 super shot threats, 62% accuracy and 58% accuracy for Bacheldor and Wood. And the West Coast Fever at 48%, they are the lowest returning super shot accuracy of any team this season. 10 the difference. Mai, top. Fretwell hustles through the middle of Ariang and Williams. Confidence at the shot from range.
Sorry.
You wonder in those moments how much more comfortable she feels shooting over this defensive circle as opposed to a Dehaney.
Well, this is where the Lightning win the ball for me. They've been brilliant in the first 30 at stopping the Fever across the line. And then Ellis Teague-Neal punches through the middle and draws the contact on Cassidy. 30 seconds to the power 5. Bruce thought her way through that moment, then just didn't have the height to contest.
Everything was right about that defensively, but the ball was precision in that moment.
So Riley Bacheldor back on now. She will know exactly what is required, as will Fretwell. It'll be the West Coast Fever. Well, here we go though. The Power 5 siren's going to go. And Sunday Ariang quickly realises and marches her way straight out to Fretwell.
Yeah, if that was me, it would be a fantastic moment to dish it out and score a 2 right on the start of the 5-minute power.
Well, they have to play it here, and they do. Bacheldor seamlessly into the range and does exactly what she's got to do for her team. The first one drops, scoreline back to 8. How big would this be if Lightning turn this over here? It's the Fever under pressure and they're playing like it. Ariang, Teague-Neal.
Oh, both circle defenders there seeing the moment, but both reading it as an opportunity for them to go.
There you go. Well, Courtney Bruce, from one courageous attempt out there, comes flying into another. So they're out hunting now. Hinchcliffe with the deflection. You can sense the Fever know how important this goal is, but they're not playing with confidence. Dehaney on in the back of play. Eventually, through the hands of Kelsey Brown, they find the single. 9 the difference. Watson, easy. Bacheldor, great feed. Fretwell has to. Out of court, throw into the Lightning. Fretwell again. She'll find range.
Oh.
Massive opposite offensive rebound from Bacheldor. She's playing for her life here. This is the lady that can do it. Well, it is taking seconds off the clock, and the Fever won't mind that.
No.
They've been winning the rebounds. Bacheldorf for a third attempt at the same thing.
Great work there. Such resilience in that moment to continue to attack the scoreboard, even though the goals weren't landing.
Back to 7. 3:20 on the clock. Look at the super shots. 1 from 3 for the Fever, 7 from 17 for the Lightning. They've got to do that. Finding Fowler Nemard, who has not missed a goal this game. Incredible. 63 straight goals. Just being asked to get the ball back. 3 minutes to play out. This is 3 of the biggest minutes of the Lightning's life to get themselves into range.
Beautiful rebound moment there by Dehaney. I felt like she'd missed one on the previous opportunity, which gave Lightning a chance to shoot, but that time she went up strong with 2 hands, as we see here. The box out, 2 hands. Fever ball.
Well, Courtney Bruce tries at the other end. She's been gallant today, but the West Coast Fever find a way over the top. And look at Fowler Nemard saying, just calm the farm, play the skills, execute the game plan right to the end. But off the back of this goal, surely the West Coast Fever know their season is going to continue next week.
Hold time. Just grab a white, please.
2 minutes 12 to do some amazing stuff. The back of play, timeout has been called just to get the court swept.
So aware.
The West Coast Fever have set this up in the third quarter, 18-12. They're leading the fourth, 16-13. For the Lightning, Stacey Francis, it is be direct, score quick, and then defend the hell out of the game.
Yes, Lightning have 2 minutes to be courageous, to throw absolutely everything at this so that their 2024 season can stand another chance next week. The first is a 2-point shot for me.
Fretwell rolls into position, much needed. Doesn't fall, and it's been the day, hasn't it? The West Coast Fever have built the defensive pressure. They've forced the uncharacteristic misses, and they've monstered the rebounds. Fowler Nemard sitting at the top of the Nissan net points at 138. Watson's been the best for the Lightning, 107. Bruce has a last crack. 90 seconds to play out. Another one for the Fever.
Yeah, Fretwell 1 from 8 in the super shot. Particularly disappointing after last week's 9 from 12. You absolutely would have banked her to go strong to post in the super shot today.
Well, the crowd have been on their feet since the 2-minute mark. They'll love this moment, except it's a wayward one for Fowler Nemard, but the Venga bus has started. A minute to play. And for the West Coast Fever, they'll enjoy this. They'll play to the end, but they know that they'll be back at training on Monday. Have a listen to it. We saw it with the Adelaide Thunderbirds yesterday. The Pink Army were sublime. Riley Bacheldorf's done everything possible for her team today, but just can't quite finish it.
Another rebound there for Dehaney, has been so strong in that today.
A quick transition through the court for the West Coast Fever. They bomb another. The Green Army have been unbelievable all season. They've had the biggest crowds in the league. And they have supported them. It's the last time they'll see them at home because the West Coast Fever will have to head to Melbourne next week. But for the Sunshine Coast Lightning, they're back in finals, but they're going to have to go away and beg the question. 6 seconds to go. The West Coast Fever will take victory off the back of Fowler Nemard. The shot doesn't land, but they will live another day in season 2024. A 10-goal victory to the West Coast Fever. It was all set up in the third quarter, and the Lightning are knocked out of the finals campaign. Unable to do the job from fourth position. It is tough. They've done it once before, but no one else has ever done that. But for the West Coast Fever, they'll thank the fans. Look at the smiles on the faces. The knockout final, it is not them. Shanice Beckford wins her first final. Olivia Wilkinson, no court time today. Look at the smile. Kelsey Brown, terrific. Finished with 54 Nissan net points. Let's go down to Caitlin Bassett, who has our player of the match with her, powered by Arnott's Vita-Wheat, and it's a birthday girl.
That's right, so I'm here with the woman of the moment. It's a big day on so many fronts for you. Is this the perfect birthday treat to get the win?
Listen, that's what I told the girls. Can I have a win for my birthday? That's all I needed, and they gave me that, so I'm happy.
A dominant third quarter. It's been your best all season. What do you talk about in halftime, and what was the difference for you in that third?
We know that going in halftime, if we're down, we know that we need to fight hard and make third quarter one of our best quarter. But if we're up, we know we need to shut the door and make sure we keep surging in that third quarter.
100% shooting stats from you, perfect. Another brilliant performance for you this season. Do you feel the pressure? Do you thrive from it? What's it like playing in front of this incredible crowd?
Oh no, I thrive. The crowd pushes me over the line. So yeah, I love it. I love the pressure. I love the energy that I get from everyone week in, week out. So yeah.
A brilliant game, a brilliant season. Good luck next week and enjoy your birthday.
Thank you.
There you go, our player of the match, all smiles for Janelle Fowler. The wishes coming true for her birthday. Let's get straight into the match summary as the West Coast Fever were able to notch up a 10-goal lead in the end. It played out much closer than that, Stacey Francis-Bayman, though. The Lightning were good today.
The Lightning were fantastic today. It's the best that we've seen them defensively across the court for me, specifically in those transition moments. Fever really able to capitalise off that shooting percentage, 93%, and the gains really started to build as the game progressed, and their gain to goal percentage specifically much higher, which really meant Fever were able to open out that game score in the end.
So we thank the Sunshine Coast Lightning for their season, and they'll journey home and they'll re-adjourn ready for next year. In the meantime, though, we say well done to the West Coast Fever, and we hand you over to our pivot studio to wrap up what was the minor semi-final right here in Perth.